Can humans survive on Mars? Did the moon landing really happen, or was it just a farce? Do black holes devour everything they come into contact with? These questions about space have always been a topic of fascination and intrigue for many of us. But unfortunately, it's also been the breeding ground for a number of persistent myths and misconceptions. From the absurd to the surprisingly plausible, these space myths have been around for decades, captivating our imaginations and fueling our curiosity. But it's time to set the record straight. In today's video, we're going to debunk 7 of the most common space myths, so buckle up and get ready to blast off into the truth. The visibility of the Great Wall of China from space has been a subject of debate for many years. While some people argue that it is visible, the truth is that it is not visible with the naked eye from space. The Great Wall cannot be seen from low Earth orbit, where most manned space missions take place. NASA confirms that the lowest altitude from which human-made objects can be seen from space is about 160 kilometers above the Earth's surface. However, the Great Wall is only 8 meters wide, which makes it impossible to see from that altitude. In various interviews, Neil Armstrong, the first person to set foot on the moon, stated that he did not observe any human-made structures from the lunar surface. In 2004, NASA astronaut Leroy Chiao managed to capture a picture of the Great Wall from the International Space Station, which orbits 408 kilometers above Earth. But he confirmed that the Great Wall is not visible from the moon. One of the main arguments used by theorists is the non-parallel shadows in the photos taken during the landing. Take a closer look at the image and notice the shadows cast by astronauts Neil Armstrong and an object just out of the frame. According to conspiracy theorists, if the only light source was the sun, the shadows should be parallel. But doesn't this really prove that the landing was staged? Not at all. In fact, this effect can easily be reproduced on Earth, and it's all due to perspective. When trying to depict a 3-dimensional object on a 2-dimensional plane, lines can appear non-parallel. This phenomenon is used by artists all the time, and you can even see it for yourself when the sun is low in the sky. So don't be fooled by conspiracy theorists trying to use non-parallel shadows as evidence of a fake moon landing. The truth is, this effect is perfectly natural and can be observed right here on Earth. Therefore, this argument is not valid. The most widespread conspiracy out there is that during the Apollo 11 mission, the image of Buzz Aldrin saluting the American flag on the moon became an iconic symbol of US achievement in the space race. However, some conspiracy theorists have suggested that the flag appears to be waving in the wind, despite the absence of an atmosphere and wind on the moon. This claim has led to the questions about the authenticity of the Apollo 11 mission and the validity of the US claim to have landed on the moon. To address this issue, scientists provide a straightforward explanation. A telescopic pole was extended along the top edge of the flag to make it fly proudly. This pole created the illusion of movement, which some people may have interpreted as the flag waving in the wind. The wrinkles on the flag, on the other hand, were a result of it being folded for 4 days during the journey to the moon. Among various methods to create a black hole is through a supernova explosion, where the central core of a massive star collapses and forms a black hole. Another approach involves the merger of 2 neutron stars, which can create a black hole if a certain mass threshold is met. When a sufficient amount of mass is concentrated in one location, an event horizon is formed. Outside of the event horizon, you can escape the gravitational pull of the black hole by moving away from it at the speed of light. Now let's substitute the physical Earth with a black hole of equivalent mass, rather than having the size of Earth. It would produce an event horizon that takes up a region of space slightly smaller than 2 centimeters in diameter, beyond the boundary of Earth's atmosphere. The curvature of space remains unchanged, whether we replace Earth with a black hole of the same mass or not. The event horizon of a black hole, which is tiny compared to the size of Earth, will only consume a few rare objects that cross it. The argument applies to all black holes in the universe, regardless of their mass. Even a black hole the size of the Sun will have a diameter of only a few kilometers, smaller than any star, planet, or neutron star known to us. The black hole is the center of our galaxy. Despite being 4 million times more massive than the Sun, it's only 18 times larger than the Sun. Considering the vastness of space and the enormous mass of black holes, their event horizons are incredibly small. Despite their strong gravitational pull, they consume less matter than if only individual particles fell into them, because their surroundings matter accelerates rapidly. The idea that the Earth's atmosphere is endless is a myth. While the atmosphere extends far beyond the surface of the Earth, it does have a limit, and there are several scientific explanations to support this. The Kármán line is an imaginary boundary line that defines the edge of the Earth's atmosphere and the beginning of space. It is located approximately 62 miles above sea level. Beyond this point, the atmosphere becomes too thin to support aircrafts and balloons, and objects in orbit around the Earth are no longer affected by the Earth's atmosphere. Then comes the exosphere's limit. The outermost layer of the atmosphere, known as the exosphere, is so thin that the few molecules that are present can travel long distances without colliding with each other. This means that there is no clear boundary between the exosphere and space, but it is generally considered to extend up to around 6,200 miles above the Earth's surface. The Earth's atmosphere is constantly losing gas molecules into space due to a process called atmospheric escape. This occurs when gas molecules in the upper atmosphere gain enough energy from solar radiation to overcome the Earth's gravitational pull and escape into space. While the rate of atmospheric escape is relatively slow, it means that the Earth's atmosphere is not endless and is gradually decreasing over time. The popularity of this idea of Mars being the second Earth where humans can potentially colonize the red planet to inhabit it just like the living forms on Earth. However, this is not essentially true at all. Rather, there are so many drawbacks that the red planet has that it is unlikely to become the closest exoplanet to Earth. First of all, the atmosphere of Mars is much thinner than Earth's, with a surface pressure less than 1% that of Earth. This makes it difficult for humans to survive on the planet without significant technological support. Then comes the level of radiation. Mars lacks a global magnetic field, which makes it more vulnerable to solar radiation. This radiation can cause DNA damage and increase the risk of cancer for humans living on the planet. The most important element to sustain life is water. Mars unfortunately has no liquid water on its surface, which is essential for supporting life as we know it. Mars has a lower gravitational force compared to Earth. This means that humans would experience weaker bones, muscle deterioration, and decreased cardiovascular health. Unless humans manage to artificially alter the Mars atmosphere to accommodate to Earthlings' favor, it is unlikely Mars would ever qualify to be the second Earth. The commonly held beliefs that shooting stars are stars falling from the sky is inaccurate and unsupported by scientific evidence. Shooting stars, also known as meteors, are actually small fragments of space debris that burn up upon entering the Earth's atmosphere due to friction with the air. Meteors are typically produced by comets or asteroids orbiting the Sun. The idea that shooting stars are stars falling from the sky likely stems from their fiery appearance and the illusion of a falling object created by their streaking movement across the night sky. However, it is important to recognize that shooting stars are stars that are completely distinct phenomena. Scientists' discoveries have debunked the notion that the Milky Way is the sole galaxy in the universe. Astronomer Edwin Hubble's observations in the early 1900s indicated that distant galaxies were moving away from us, a phenomenon now known as Hubble's law. This finding was confirmed by redshift measurements, which showed that galaxies emit light that is shifted towards the red end of the spectrum, indicating their movement away from us. The cosmic microwave background radiation is another piece of evidence that supports the notion that the Milky Way is not the only galaxy in the universe. Astronomers have conducted large-scale surveys to catalog the properties and locations of galaxies beyond the Milky Way. These surveys, such as the Sloan Digital Sky Survey, have mapped the position of over 1 million galaxies, providing a detailed picture of the universe's large-scale structure. Other surveys, like the Hubble Deep Field, have observed galaxies so far away that their light has taken billions of years to reach us. These surveys offer further evidence that the Milky Way is not the only galaxy in the universe. Well, which of these space myths did you guys believe to be true? Let us know in the comments. Do you want to learn more about our universe? Click here to watch the next video.